What is going on, YouTube? Northeast Ohio here for a little Ja Morant video. So, today we are going to talk about Ja. He has basically dominated the hobby so far in this early 2020-2021 season. His card prices by far have had the biggest spikes, the biggest movements. And a lot of people are wondering, have I missed the boat? Is it too little too late? So we're going to kind of break down what's going on with Ja's cards and see if we could find anything that has slipped through the cracks so far in this early part of the season. So before we get into it, YouTube stuff down below, like, comment, sub, all that jazz. Links to market movers and the discount code are in the description. We will be living in market movers for the entirety of this video. And this is going to be a really good example of why you need to be using some type of data analyzer tool thingamajigger. We talk about all the time, base Prizm leads the way, leads the charge. So with that being said, I have pulled up Ja's Prizm PSA 10 and 9 base and PSA 10 and 9 silvers. Because silvers and base PSA 10s are the first things that go up when a player catches fire. This is proven fact over and over and over again over the last 2 years. You could look at this and this is just the way. So his PSA 10 base Prizm, which is the top line here, this bad boy, and I made this a 14-day chart. Everything we're looking at today is going back 2 weeks. That puts us about a week before the season starts. So we can kind of see the run up and where it takes off. And we're not really going to be looking at the charts too much, mostly this data down below. So over the last 14 days, Ja's base Prizm is up 57%. It started at $500 and it's actually up higher than that. These are well over 800. I am recording this late night Sunday night on the 27th, and those sales aren't into market movers yet, but I can tell you that this card is $800 to $900 now. There are multiple sales today that have put this card well over the $800 mark, so this change is even bigger than that. So if you're looking at these prices going to try to find stuff, things could have shifted slightly. We're going to pop down a card and look at his PSA 10 Silver Prizm. Also up 47%, up over almost 5,000 now. I think they are 5,000 now. Started off at 3,200 and ends the 14-day period at around, we're just going to call it an even 5K, a little less than that, but mileage may vary since there's a day's worth of data not in this yet. So those are our benchmarks. In the last 14 days, Ja's two main cards, his base Prizm and his silver Prizm, both in PSA 10s, are up 50% plus. So we'll call it between 50 and 60%. The silver's up over 50%. The base is up over actually probably 60% at this point, if not even higher. Okay, cool. They usually lead the charge. So let's see what has gotten left behind. And right away, we see the base Prizm PSA 9 is currently sitting at around $200, only up 28%. And the silver Prizm PSA 9 only up 33%. So we can immediately see that some things have already slipped through the cracks. And the PSA 9 on both these to me seem undervalued based off where they should be. And this is pretty normal. Usually the 9s will eventually level out with the 10s and they'll go up about the same if you look over a long period of time. But since we're looking at a shorter period of time, and this has all just happened in the last few days, the 10s are leading the charge. So to me, if you're looking at Prizms, and we're going to spend the least amount of time talking about Prizms, and I didn't run the variations. There's so many Prizm variations, but you could probably find the same thing. Those are probably also lagging slightly behind. They're all up, but they're not up as much as his two main cards. So if you're looking to get in the Ja, you can look at the PSA 9s as potential good deals on either one of these two cards. There's still some meat on the bone there potentially, in addition to, I believe Ja is going to keep going up because he just looks absolutely fantastic this year. His run right now reminds me, and I know it's early, it's only been 2 games, and I'm not necessarily comparing the players, I'm comparing how hot they were to start, of what Luka did to start last season. Way back in late 2019, Luka came out of the gates like crazy and kind of ignited the whole sports card hobby. That was the real first catching fire moment among many of the 1920 season. But Ja's coming out and kind of doing that exact same thing. So, and I expect him to keep playing well. He is the main cog on that team as long as he does not get hurt. So, we can immediately see his PSA 9 Prizm base and silver are lagging behind and potential good hop-ins. So let's look at some of his other stuff. We're going to look at Prizm. We're going to look at Optic. We're going to look at Select, Mosaic, and Revolution really quick to see if the other brands are also lagging behind. And the short answer is yes. So remember the 50 to 60% mark off the Prizm. Let's look at his other stuff. We're going to hop over to Optic really quick. Optic, to me, looks like the best deal out there right now, potentially. His Optic base PSA 10 is only up 25%, sitting at around $300. Even low 300s. That's not that much of a change if you assume the same 50-ish% jump to eventually catch up to this card. We scroll down here, PSA 9s up 12% of the Optic base. Once again, 10 leads the charge, 9 follows after it. Let's get into some of his more rare stuff. Blue Velocity, up 30%, not that bad, but the PSA 9's only up 14%. Optic Hollow. Now, I will say, I looked at these. There was none really on the market for this price anymore. I think the cheapest one was over 2K, but it's still worth looking at. The pop count on these are very low at 278. But this 6% is not accurate because there's just not any available at this price that I could find at the moment. Almost all of them were over 2,000. PSA 9 up 5%. Same thing. I could not find one at $500 anymore. The last sale on this was Christmas Eve. Hyper Pinks, $450. There's a couple out there. They're all north of 500 now. Same with PSA 9s were available, but you can see that one's already made the jump. The 10 has actually made the jump as well. There just hasn't been a recent sale. These Optic parallels are extremely low pop count. Purple Shocks, which I did not realize these were this low. There's only 41 PSA 10s of this thing. The last sale was 1216, so I'm not really going to count either one of these just because the population counts are so low. The one I really like, and there are still some of these available semi-reasonably, they have shot up, and I did buy one of these on Christmas Eve, the night Ja went crazy, is the purple. Do I have one handy here? Here we go. The Optic purple. The pop count on this is like 110. They were going, if you go back 2 weeks, they were going for about 350 to 400. Then they slowly started creeping up. One sold for 475 before opening night. And then went this $500 one. This is actually the one that I purchased. And then one sold after it for 550. You could still get these for around 600, I think. And I honestly think it's still a pretty good deal at 600. Once again, extremely low pop count card. The Luka version of this sells for an astronomical sum of money, as does the Trae Young. And the pop counts on the 2018 versions are even lower. But the Optic purples are one of my favorite of the Optic parallels. I really like the blue velocities as well. And I might look into this purple shock to see if I could track one down. That's a very low pop count on that. So there's definitely some buying opportunities in the Optic as well. I think the base, if you could find them for around 300, and let me see if there are still any out there. Yeah, here's one right here. 329 or best offer. Buy it now, 325. A bunch of auctions ending. And once again, this is being recorded on Sunday night. I do not own any Optic PSA 10s. I do have some SGC 10s. Here's some Probstein auctions that end tonight. I'll be curious to see where these end up. But those buy it nows for around 300, 325 seem like a good deal when you consider his base Prizm is now almost $1,000, as a $900 card heading to $1,000. To give you a little bit of an idea, and I'm not saying that these players are exactly the same, but let's look at Luka really quick. Did not plan on doing this, but this will just take a second. So what I'm going to do is just look at, yeah, it's usually about double. So PSA 10 Luka base is around 2K. PSA 10 Optic, and the last one actually sold on Christmas Day. These are pretty low pop comparatively. Let's see what the cheapest one of these available is. Buy it now. Lowest first. 750. That's actually pretty cheap. 875. So around 800. So about half, a little less than half is what they normally go for. And this is way less than half at 325 compared to 900. Oops. Compared to 900, 8 or 900 that these are going for. So the best buy out there right now, in my opinion, so far of this list that we've gone through, is Optic base PSA 10s. Plus the pop count on this is 3,300. On the Prizm, 12,000. Let's look at Select. Now, funny thing is, Select has actually kept up. Select PSA 10 and PSA 9s are all up 40% plus. So that's right in line where they should be, to be honest with you. I don't necessarily see, I mean, I like Select and I like Ja, so it's not the worst buy in the world, but these feel more appropriately priced than the Optics do. These have moved very closely with the Prizms, which is interesting. I still think everyone in the investor hobby community, whatever, will beat this dead horse. These premieres are the most undervalued card in the market. Any player, full stop. This is going for 375, basically. The pop is 427. The concourse is going for 350 and is selling for 1400. This is the concourse. This is the premiere. I actually like the way the premiere looks better this year as well. So just keep that in mind if you're looking at Select. This has gone up 40%. It's very close to what the Prizm has done. But if you're looking for a Select pickup, look for the premiere. It's not that much more expensive than the concourse. So far we've looked at Prizm, Optic, and Select. Select feels appropriately priced. Optic, it looks like there's a lot of room to run there, either based off of base cards or some of the more rare parallels if you're looking to get something a little more niche. And the PSA 9 Prizm base and silver. Let's look at Mosaic. Mosaic, the two PSA 10s as PSA 10 base is only up 28%, and the silver is only up 24%, and the 9s are only up 14% and 5%. Now, a 9 hasn't sold since Christmas Eve, so there's a little bit of data loss there, but they're also pretty rare. These optics are extremely tough grades in PSA 10s. And I did not list all the optic variations because there's a billion of them. There's green, there's pink camo, there's silver mosaic, there's this, that, and the other thing. We'd be here all day if I went through the list of all the mosaic parallels, but in general, they basically follow these trends when I quickly glanced at them. I think I'm not a big fan of the mosaic base card just because I don't like all the silver background, but I think this is one of the best, not counting the luminance, one of the best looking pictures of Ja because everyone really likes the jersey. It's the old school Vancouver Grizzlies jersey look. Silvers on these are extremely tough grades, and they do look really nice. I had a Zion PSA 9 silver, and it looked really sharp. My favorite of these, and it's not in Market Movers, is the silver. They call it Mosaic, but it's basically silver Mosaic. It's got the Mosaic pattern, but it's silver. To me, those are the best looking of all the parallels. They look great. But there's a little bit of room here, especially these PSA 9s for $75 seem like a pretty good deal. And honestly, the PSA 10s at around 200 and some seem like a fantastic deal. One of the things you notice, so let's look at Optic. So on the PSA 9 versus 10, there's over 3,000 10s, over 2,000 9s. So there's a much more 10s than there are 9s. Let's look at Prizm. 12K 10s, 9K, almost 9K 9s. Once again, way more 10s than 9s. When you look at Mosaic, there's less 10s than 9s. And on the 9 and the silvers, they're identical. 130 and 131 on the base, almost 1,500 9s and only 1,350 10s. Anyone that's opened Mosaic or handled Mosaic knows these cards are extremely tough grades. And I also think there was something very specific with Ja on this base card in Mosaic. I know myself personally, I ripped a mountain of Mosaic product. I opened close to, I think, 17 or 18 base Jaws. I had I had 5 that I kept. The rest, every single one of them had a surface issue. And it was a scratch almost in the exact same spot right underneath the ball right here. One of my earliest videos I made is about Mosaic surface issues, and it specifically talks about this card. That was after multiple retail runs over the course of a few weeks, cracking blasters and cello packs, etc. I was seeing the exact same pattern. 502 Frank, who I'm sure you guys are familiar with, had the exact same issue on his. He said almost every jaw he opened had the exact same line. I think specifically these jaws are extremely tough grades. And I think this is going to be one of the harder PSA 10s to get. So I really like it from that perspective. I'm just not a big fan of the blank chrome look without it being in a variation. But if you're looking for something a little bit cheaper, I do like this one as a pickup for, $200 to $250. So those are the big 4. Last but not least, let's talk about Revolution really quickly. Because these ones have lagged behind the most. And I really like the look of these Revolution cards. And they are also very low pop count. Only 189 PSA 10s, only 100 PSA 9s. And you could see the prices here have not changed basically at all. I will say there are currently no PSA 10s for sale at $200. There are 2 auctions ending on Sunday night. I know that they're going to go for more than $200 because I already bid $200 on them. And that was not the highest bid available. So I may jump in on one of them. I'd like to pick one up. I'm going to see where it ends. I don't know that I will or not. There's also a PSA 9 ending tonight that I have my eyes on. But I just really like the looks of these cards. They look really nice in person. And they're very low pop count. So those are the main ones we're going to stick to of the Ja stuff. So you could see, even though his card prices have gone absolutely bonkers the last 5 days, there's still value to be had out there. Yeah, you're not buying in at the cheapest when you could have in mid-October or late October or even 14 days ago before the season started. You're definitely leaving profit on the table, but I think Ja continues to go up. He looks like one of the best young players in the league. I like him personally more than Zion, and I'm not looking to sell much, if any, Ja at all. So we will see what happens with him over the course of the next few weeks. But if you're looking to get in the Ja, I would not wait. Every game that he plays basically causes prices to spike even more. And as people see these Prizm prices continue to skyrocket, they are very quickly going to get priced out of it. And that's when this other stuff starts to rise. So there is still a little bit of time to hop on the Ja bandwagon. So that's all I have for you guys today. I may do another one of these on Trae Young. We will see. I was going to do them in a combined video, but then there was just too much to talk about with Ja. So we will catch you guys on the next one, and peace.